What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Conquer Your Kitchen. Now, today we are doing ultimate nachos. I'm not talking about those football, basketball games for your kid in the plastic bin with the cheese sauce drizzled over in a little cup of pickled peppers. No. Those are amateur nachos. Those want to be nachos when they grow up. Today we are doing ultimate nachos. Alright, and we're gonna kick it up with some steak. Grilled steak on ultimate nachos. I mean, now come on, really? I'm giving you guys this stuff because I love to cook and I love you. Now, there are quite a few ingredients on this, but if you hear the word ultimate, I'm thinking you're gonna expect a little bit more than the norm, right? Alright, so let's jump down, get into the ingredients. Since it's closest to me, a little fresh black, some iceberg lettuce. I have some flank steak here that I've just chopped up and marinated in some salt, pepper, garlic, cumin, nothing big. And then I put a splash of olive oil in there as well, just to help it on the grilling process. I have some Munster cheese, jack cheese, it's some cheese. It's look for quesadilla cheese. It's a melting cheese. I'm not really sure what's in there. I don't care. It tastes good, so I'll use it. But I think it's a mixture of Munster and Jack. I think. I have some garlic powder, some cumin, cilantro, a serrano pepper. It's a big serrano pepper, but that's okay. I like the heat. Some red salsa, red chipotle salsa. I blended it up myself. A tomato, an avocado, red onion, some refried beans. If you don't like beans, don't put them in. As how most of my recipes are. If you guys don't like this stuff, don't use it. I'm just giving it to you the way I do it, so you can copy it if you want. Have some black olives, and then over here, I'm going to make a green salsa. I have some tomatillos, or what do they call it? Salsa Verde, which Verde is green, so it's green salsa. I have some tomatillos, which are part of the tomato family, but not really. They're not green tomatoes, they're a different thing altogether. Red onions, a couple of cloves of garlic, and some jalapeno peppers. Look at the size of this jalapeno pepper. Now, I've already cut it in half, and if you're wondering, these grill marks, all I did, if you look at them, I have an electric burner on my stove. I have an electric stove. I just laid the tomatillos and peppers and onions right on the burners. Gets that charred taste to it, and it's going to be some good salsa. So, while I got some water boiling here, I'm just going to throw it in, and we're just going to let that get going. And we're going to move this out of the way for the time being and get started on the steak. Now, when people think nachos, a lot of times they just think it's some chips. Oh, and I didn't tell you about the chips, but I figured you saw the chips. How you gonna have nachos without chips? So, just forget about my mistake and let's keep rolling. All right. Like I said though, when people think nachos, they usually think like some chips, cheese, maybe some ground beef, lettuce, tomatoes. Yeah, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But, you know, as in everything else that I cook, I like flavor. So, I just like to make sure I have enough of everything that's going to, you know, bring out more of the flavor. So, what I have here, like I said, I just have some steak that I have cut up and just a real simple marinade of salt, pepper, garlic, some cumin, and some olive oil. So, we're going to get that going and let it do its thing, okay? Alright, got my cutting board here. We have a bowl, and we'll go ahead and use this plate. So, when I'm making nachos, I like to layer them, okay? And when we get to the assembly part, I'll show you what I mean. But basically, you want to put some nacho chips down and then start building it from there. But don't just pile everything on top of the chips, because what happens is the chips at the very bottom don't get anything on them, because you put all these chips on there and then you just piled all your toppings up on top of it, and the things on the bottom don't have anything. Well, that's not very fair. This is an equal opportunity nacho thing. So let's slice up some lettuce, just some regular iceberg lettuce. I like to do this very, very small. You know, I like to make it so the pieces are very small, because that way you get a better distribution of lettuce throughout your nachos. So, and lettuce, yeah, it provides a little bit of texture, and that's about it. Lettuce doesn't really have a whole lot of nutritional value. It's pretty empty, to be honest with you. So let's get that out of the way. And then as far as our tomato, I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to save one half, and then I am going to cut up the other part. Now, what I did, well, I'll use this. It's kind of a garbage bowl. With tomatoes, get all this stuff out of there. Get all of that, just, you know, get your fingers in there and get it out. The seeds and all that stuff, we don't really need it. And you don't have to be super, super precise about this. But you can cut your tomatoes for this anyway. I like to do them in small strips like that. And then come back and just run your knife through. Everything's moving on me, but I'm just going to keep going because I'm way too far into this to start over. You guys have no idea how many videos I have started and then stopped and gone back and done them again. Some have never even made it to YouTube because you can't them, because I ran out of ingredients. And so I was just like, oh well, that'll have to wait until I buy some more ingredients. So, but this time I'm just going to keep on going and forge through, because I really want these nachos. The other thing that you guys don't realize is that when I cook this stuff, I'm the one that's eating it. So yeah, I have to keep going. So alright, so that's just our lettuce and tomato. Let's work on our pico de gallo. Pico de gallo is really, really simple. Basically the same technique. Go ahead and seed your tomato, and then we're going to slice it in the exact same way. Alright, so there that is. Our tomato is diced. Let's get that in a bowl. Okay. And making a little bit of a mess, but that's alright. I'm going to use about half of this pepper, because serrano peppers have some heat, and honestly I do not go through the process of taking out the seeds because I like it hot. If you don't like it as hot, go ahead and pop those seeds out of there. It's not going to take all the heat away, but it'll take enough away where it's not, you know, it's gonna kill you. So alright, serrano peppers in, and my steak is over here talking to me. Oh, let's get that flipped again. I'm going to have a good day. It's Monday for you. It's actually Wednesday for me. So, this, or is it, no, it's Tuesday for me. Oh, I told you guys I wasn't all there. I've had a rough week. So, by the time you guys see this, I would have enjoyed my nachos and probably had about 3 or 4 servings. So, alright, so we'll get our onions chopped up and get that in as well. And then we'll take a little bit of the cilantro, because I'm going to use the rest of that for my green salsa. So, let's just go ahead and get this chopped up. I'll be right back. Alright, so we've got our vegetables chopped up for our pico. And like I said, just tomatoes, peppers, cilantro, onions. Then I just take a little bit of garlic, throw it in there, and whew, it's humid today. Garlic is sticking. And garlic, and then some cumin. Put that in there. Get it all stirred up. Now, you can make this in as large of a quantity as you want. It's just me, so I don't have to make a ton of it. I went looking. I thought I had a lime. I don't. but I did have a lemon. I did have a lemon. I did not had a lemon. Lemon juice works just as fine. Okay. Just want something in there acidic, and it will roll just perfectly. So my meat's almost done. A pinch of salt in there and get that mixed up. Turn that off because my steak is done. I'm using flank steak for this. You can use whatever kind of steak you want. You can do chicken, you can do pork. I mean, when it comes to nachos, they're your nachos. You can, you know, jazz them up any way that you want. So, all right. Now something I was doing, and I can't remember what it was. I remember I'm going to cut my steak. All right, so we're just going to get this out and get it cut up and move it aside. All right, so our steak is all done. See, we got those nice grill marks on there. And when you're cutting this, remember, these are going to be bite-sized pieces. So you want to cut them to the point where, you know, you can sort of sprinkle them, so to speak, on the nachos, but not so tiny that you know, just don't do them too small. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say. And using that tongs is too time consuming. So I'm just going to run my knife through these and get them all chopped up into bite-sized pieces. And let's give it now our green salsa mix. Let's tackle that. So as you see here, all we have is the, let me move this out of the way so you can see, everything is kind of boiled down. You're just going to take all of this, toss it right into the food processor. Alright, so just going to let this roll for about a minute and it'll be fine. Okay, our green salsa is done and it is looking good. So after about, like I said, about a minute or two in the old machine there. If you don't have a food processor, you can use your blender. It's fine. If you don't have a blender, you got a smoothie maker or anything that will hold liquid that has really sharp blades in it, you can use. Now, you use your imagination on that and whatever tickles your fancy, you go for it. Okay, so we have everything done and prepped. We are going to start the assembly. Now, while I took a little break, I have my beans, my refried beans. Don't just take the can and open it up and throw beans on there. You'll have little clumps everywhere. It's going to be cold. Don't do that. Just don't do that to yourself. You've come this far. Run the rest of the race with me. Okay, so as you see, I have just cooked them. I added about 2 tablespoons of water. They go down very easily, and then they will act as our glue, so to speak, and flavor. Good stuff. Okay, so what I like to do is I just like to start with a layer of beans. Remember in the beginning I was telling you about layering these nachos, okay? Everything I do is for a reason, and I'm going to give you those reasons as we go along. All right, so get those on the bottom of the plate. Nothing, you know, nothing fancy. Get out of here. Okay, and then just start with your chips. Get a layer of chips. The reason I put these beans on the bottom is if you've ever had nachos in the restaurant maybe, or even if you've made them at home, and you start to, you know, get them and pick them up and they start sliding all over the place, the beans keep it right where it's supposed to be. Alright, so we get those on there. Gonna hit it with a little bit more and just a little bit more, and then put that over there, and then hit it with some of that good steak that we had going there. Oh boy, get some cheese, and we're just gonna keep layering this until we get to the top. Okay, and then I have my oven is on 350 because I want to melt the cheese before I finish it all off. All right, so basically all I've done is I've just made, I think this is my third layer, third or fourth, I don't know. I got layers of chips. Let me turn this water off. I have gotten my chips up here, and then I'm going to hit it with a final topping of the beans and the meat and the cheese. Now, what I've also done, and this is what's going to really bring this home, my oven is preheating to 350. So I'm going to take this cheese, okay, and we're going to sprinkle that on there. And then we're going to pop this whole thing into the oven and then come back and hit it with our final cold toppings. And then the party is going to start. Oh, the nacho gods are smiling. Woo! You know, sometimes I just stop and think. I'm just like, I just thank God that He blessed me with abilities to cook. And guess what? He's blessed you with the same things. You're just learning from me. So anyway, let me get my oven turned off, and I bake these for just about 10 minutes. Okay, it's just enough to get the cheese melted and kind of bring everything together. Now, the one thing I did notice while they were in the oven is I forgot to add my avocado to my green salsa. So I just added the avocado and some more cilantro because I like the way that tastes. And so yeah, so I'm going to start it with just a touch of that because I do want some of that liquid to get down in, you know, in the nachos. And just thank you, Jesus. Okay, and I have some more cheese here, so I'm gonna put that on there. I have plenty of cheese in there, but you can never have too much cheese, right? Hang on, I'm gonna do this different. All right, so now I'm gonna hit it with some of that lettuce, and I'm just gonna keep going up. Up is the key. Some tomatoes. Let's get those all over. If something just drops on the side, yeah, just throw it back on there. It's no big deal. Get out of there. Let's come back with some of our PICO. And yeah, this is the messier it is, the better it's going to taste. Guarantee it. All right. And then I'll just come out with some avocado. Now with the avocado, I just took it and I sliced it the long way and went back across it the short way. And it you end up getting little dices out of there. And just take a spoon and run it around, and then you just get little individual pieces of avocado, and you can just sprinkle them around, or you know, if you want to smash it up and make it more like a guacamole, you can do that too. It's just your nachos. It's your nachos. Roll with it however you want, baby. All right, some black olives. Now here's the thing, you may not like all of the things that I'm putting on here, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't expect everybody to like what I like. You know, you can substitute pretty much anything for what you want to put on your nachos, and it will all be fine. Now, I'm going to try to play that off like it didn't just happen. I touched that plate twice. I just took it out of the oven. It's hot. Keep something around you to remind you. Usually I'll put a towel or something to remind me that I have a hot dish, but I forgot. All right, finally I want to hit it with some of this red salsa, this chipotle salsa that I made. And basically all I did was bought some canned chipotle peppers, threw them in the blender, bammo, done. Now if you wanted to have that restaurant touch, take your sour cream. I didn't talk about that in the very beginning, but I have some sour cream. Get yourself a couple of squeeze bottles. You can get these at the grocery store for like $5 and you get like 6 of them. Take your sour cream, toss it in a squeeze bottle, pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Then you can finish it off with that restaurant quality garnish, wipe up the mess. And my friends, you have ultimate nachos. If you make this for somebody in your family and they don't like it, kick them out. They don't deserve to be in your company when you put something like this on their plate. Come on now. Come on now. Look at this. This thing is like 4 inches high. It's got everything in there that you want. I need a fork. All right. So I'm just going to dig in here and take something right off the back. And make sure I got a little bit of everything on that chip. I'm ready to retire. I don't know what else I can do. That's the video. No, I'm just playing. Wow. That is so good, guys. Make sure you give this a try, okay? You're gonna love it. Everything about it is delicious. If you love nachos, you are elevating everything about nachos with this dish. So until next week, I'll see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It would help me out so much. Share the video. Talk to somebody else about it. Go out and tell all your friends about Tony on YouTube, who's helping you conquer your kitchen. I appreciate you guys coming by. I love you. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.